All right, and we are live. All right, gang, welcome back to the soapbox here. Want to dive in a little bit, and first off, it is a little late here. It's Memorial Day, but figured that a lot of the content consumption is a little funky anyway with the little holiday weekend and the scenarios we've been all in here. So, want to chat a little bit about getting back into the gym, and it's refreshing to have this conversation. It's refreshing to start to think about this stuff, but I do think that there are obviously some concerns, and talk about how we can do this stuff safely, effectively, and efficiently. Also to quiet some of the noise out there. I think, there's a lot of keyboard warriors, a lot of heroes out there that don't really, it frustrates me. That are starting to tell people what to do, really without much basis of, I feel, education, with basis of experience, and really just trying to make a splash. It's really just sort of this makes me sad from a media perspective. And I've been having a hard time with this, just in the past really year of in order to really turn heads, right, from a media perspective, you have to say really stupid shit. And we know this if you follow mainstream media, is you can make a headline that really turns your head. You can skew a story that really makes one side look different than the other. And this is happening in the CrossFit community, and it's happening a lot now when it comes to advice or what to do and what not to do. And I really don't like it. So part of me gets frustrated because I'm like, man, how do I help people? How do I get heard? Not because I care about me and what I'm doing. I just hope I feel like my message and the message that my counterparts deliver is something that can be just helpful, and it coincides with what our message has always been, what CrossFit's message has always been, which is, we don't really tell you what you should be doing. We should be telling you how to do something and how to do it correctly, safely, and efficiently, but also making your decisions and giving you the tools to make those decisions. It's like just coaching. It's like the CrossFit model. You can go to 10,000 affiliates around the world and they run their show differently, but they can be effective. They can be efficient. But there's some underlying themes that are consistent, and what are those? So that's really what I want to chat about. And as we dive into this, depends on where you are in the world. You're in a different phase, right? But no matter what, no matter where you're at, if you're in Massachusetts, it's far away. If you're in Florida, if you're in Georgia, you're there, which is awesome. But we need to be thinking about, no matter what phase we're in and the gyms are in, is how do we safely get back in? And we've talked a lot about that, in our Back to Business guide. If you guys haven't followed that, I'll put it in the link below. But it talks a lot about logistics and how to safely set your gym up for success. I'm not going to talk about that from flow of class to markers and blah, 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 blah. This is really talking about getting your members back into the gym, and potentially doing workouts that they haven't done in a while, but also how do we, working out with face masks, things like that. So let's start with the easy one, which is basically, all right, if you're in an area where you are mandated to wear a face mask while you work out, again, it's going to be different from space to space. And I'm not here to discuss the politics behind it. I'm just here to discuss, all right, these are the rules, and you have to follow, and you choose to follow the rules. And again, I'm not a huge fan of defiance unless there's a massive purpose behind it, and unless you're just a defiant youth, and we're not really talking about that stuff. And I think that, all right, so if that's the case, you just have to be careful. I was talking to a nurse yesterday, and she's seen a lot of cases of actually what she called drop lung, where of people working out, running specifically, because in Boston you have to wear a mask even if you're running outside with a mask, and it's affecting the lungs in a negative way. Which leads me to my point of all right, we probably should be monitoring the level of intensity and the consistency of intensity, and where our respiration is really high if we're wearing a face mask. I mean, for those of you that have done it, or for those of you that have trained at altitude, it's not fun. And it's just different. So you're going to have to change your workouts, and maybe you have to do some interval-based stuff where, the heart rates aren't, the respiration isn't super high. And you can take your, potentially to get that heart rate down, or, depending on the rules, can you take your mask off between, I don't know, but thinking about that type of stuff is important. And then really thinking about, okay, maybe we need to, you can do workouts that get them back into the gym that, it's like, all right, we can get them on the pull-up bar, just maybe do strict pull-ups instead of keeping pull-ups, lowers the intensity, right? All right, we can, maybe the weight's a little heavier, lower reps, things like that. So the heart rate's not as high. So again, these are just things that you got to think about, and we have to be very careful as coaches. You don't know what it's like to coach a group of athletes with face masks on. Unless you do, awesome. I want to hear from you. I want to learn what you've done. But my tactic is going to be, err on the side of caution. Talk to people, almost keep conversation pace. And, maybe it's like, all right, but outside you don't need to wear a mask or whatever it might be. Like, but if it's inside you do, who knows what the rules are. But we need to start to make sure that we're thinking about this and being safe and being smart. So just do your job as a coach and just be smart. Know what you don't know, limit your scope, and master the fundamentals. People are going to come back in the gym, and maybe this is a good, it's a nice dovetail into this next stage of like, okay, what we are going to be doing is getting people back into the gym. And this is where this whole thing came up on the whole Murph conversations. Like, I heard so many people say you shouldn't do Murph. Don't let your athletes do Murph. And I thought to myself, gosh, like, when the hell have we ever just blanketed things like that? It's like, I've been doing constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity for a really long time. I don't need to do Murph prep, and I also don't need to limit my athletes. I'm going to scale them for their own physical and psychological limitations. This is no different, and this is the problem here, gang, with this type of advice and people giving this advice is because this happens in your gym all the time. People walk in your gym and they're new, and it's a week later, it's Murph. You need to scale them appropriately. You have members that have come back from a long vacation or a hiatus. You need to scale them effectively. No different than this, because if your gym is open, you might have had 30% of your members that had a pull-up bar at home and been doing workouts, and they're fine. You might have had 30% of members that haven't done a pulling movement in 3 months. They're probably not okay to do the full repetitions, but the nice thing is that you can scale it. You can change this workout to keep their volume well below 50 pull-ups across a 30-minute time span, which is probably going to be okay. And, and again, we think that is Murph a rhabdo-inducing workout? Well, really not for the deconditioned, right? Because you're going to be moving slow, and depends on the way you do that. So understanding this stuff is important. So as members come back, we need to be mindful of volume. We need to be mindful, and so as coaches, let's think about this. And this is what we're doing on the hand plan is we're not changing the programming. We're going to make sure we're explicit in how we teach you how to scale. We're going to be explicit in each day of, hey, be mindful of this, eyes on this, think about this. We'll release these in our daily videos, which we do with our programming. And here's another one. It's like, okay, when people come back in, what are we doing to, we should be checking in with them. And the nice thing is your class is going to be small because no matter where you are, they're limiting class sizes. So you should be able to, if there's 10 people in class, make sure everyone's, last couple months of exercise routine so you have a good idea of how to scale them appropriately. But, I have many members that have been hitting, full CrossFit workouts more than ever, and they're going to go right back into and get into it fine. Some people, it's like, I talked to my buddy yesterday, he just wanted to get back on the barbell, so there's a few other things that we might play with here is that like on the other side of this is what we also should do is make sure we take care of our veteran members that, the first day back, give them a barbell, change the workout for them. Who cares? Right? Like, because no program's going to be perfect, and you can't be like, you don't want to tweak it, be like, well, because you need to follow some semblance of what we're doing. But like, if someone walks in on a different day, it's like, because everyone's going to come back at different times, comfortability, schedule-wise, it's going to be really challenging. So when someone comes in like, I'm dying to touch a barbell. Of course, you're paying a membership. I'll take care of you. If it's got to be a completely different workout, then so be it. Not the end of the world. But let's start to take care of our members that way. Making sure we manage volume, making sure that certainly on things that we haven't done in a while, lighter weight, higher rep stuff, that's things to be wary of because you can over volumize that. Things that where you can control during the eccentric phase, i.e. like lightweight, high rep push presses where you can fight the way down, but you're always going to get it overhead because it's hip mediated movement. Those are going to make your arms and your triceps and your shoulders really sore. Getting people back in the GHD because undoubtedly 99% of your members haven't been on there, which means get them back on there, but maybe just in the warm-ups, get them back to the movement pattern, start them back at that progression of, all right, you got it, in order for you to do this, let me see the 25 slow and controlled, no momentum ab mat sit-ups. If you can do that, great. Then I'll let you get, 5 sets of 5 on the GHD, and we'll see how we feel tomorrow. There's nothing, it's like, never let your people on the GHD. When I hear that, I'm just like, if I hear people say that, I'm like, you're an idiot. You just are, because I get all sorts of people on it safely, effectively, efficiently. And, some people can't because of what they got going on or whatever it is, but saying it to a group of people never, gosh, makes me so upset and sad. Denying the right to people certain types of fitness is so frustrating to me. But we need to also be, we have to be cautious as well, but also people can be excited to get back to the gym, which is awesome. But we don't want to, we don't want to like push them down and be like, we don't want to be so like, draconian in our phase back in as well. Like, we got to have fun. We have to educate, inspire, and entertain. So understanding that as well, getting people back into the loop. And this is what we're going to be spending a lot of time. And I just go back to the hand plan, because we have a lot of affiliates, a lot of athletes that are now in this boat. We're going to be sharing a lot of these best practices with them, because that's what, that's our big thing is that, I'll write a workout. It's like, all right, maybe it's, say, five rounds, 15-minute AMRAP, 400-meter run, 10 deadlifts at 315, and 10 push press at 135. And now you look at that workout, it's like, okay, that's going to, and should you write that workout? Absolutely. Right? And I'm a huge fan of that. It's heavy. It's a beautiful workout, but we're going to have to scale for probably 98% of our members. Okay, great. Well, it's a heavier deadlift. Great. We can make sure that we're moving well there. What are we looking for? Maybe we go double overhand, no hook grip today, so we can't over volumize. Great. So you ever think about that's how we play with it. Don't let your members do things they shouldn't do. So create stop gaps in movement and let your quality movement well. Double overhand, no hook grip, obviously with no to low mechanical breakdown in those early sets. Great. That will make sure we're finding the right weight. For the push press, that's going to be a good amount of reps there. So we haven't had that type. So maybe it's like, okay, you have a couple of people, I can move that weight, but I haven't moved that weight in a while. Well, maybe we go 5 reps, around, just because you want to touch that. Awesome, cool. And for others, maybe we're just going to scale the weight down. So again, we want smooth reps and maybe instead of do we want to cycle the reps, or do we want to pause in between each? So maybe we lower the weight and we reset and pause, as opposed to cycle through really quick where we can get sloppy, things like that. Resetting the front rack, giving different options on how to attack the workout, and then go for it on the run, because we know you've been running for the past X amount of months. But maybe they haven't been running. Maybe they've been in an apartment complex. So touching base with those guys. All right, we got to scale the run back a little bit. These are the conversations you need to be having. So I just don't see the point of completely blowing out or changing a program. Just take care of your people on a case-by-case basis. And, just be mindful of the new confines, right? And what I mean by that is, for our affiliates, we're going to be running 45-minute classes. With those 45-minute classes, there's going to be a lot of, we have to then check people in. There's a lot of logistics. So, your programming matters. And, I recently talked to an affiliate how they just came over to the hand plan, and they said to me something that hit me. They said to me that, like, hey, we're going to start, joining the hand plan because you guys don't have the strength and Metcon 2 portions every day. It's a main workout with the teaching piece. We sometimes do a lift if it's a shorter workout or whatever it might be, but that's not what we do. Whereas other programs, it's 2 pieces. And, so for those programs will fail mightily. Not because they're bad programs, it's just because you can't fit all that, certainly within a 45-minute time window, certainly within, if people are going to go to the bathroom, you have to stagger it, where you're going to need to be in a really efficient coach. You better be writing a lesson plan that's super tight. You need to be accounting for modifications for the first month that are going to be pretty much, if you have 10 people in class, you're going to have 10 different workouts going on, because you don't want to make everyone to the lowest common denominator. So you need to meet people where they are. And so you're going to earn your keep in the next couple of months, certainly when you get back to the gym. Beyond all the new logistical, things that we're working on, we also have to deal with, being a better coach. And unfortunately, you've been coaching behind a camera, which is still different. Now, from here, you're going to be coaching in front of people, but you can't get tactile. You have to get very visual, very verbal. So, this is where, I know we're going to be offering coaching sessions and really helping people with verbal and visual cues, because tactile can't happen. But this is something that we're going to be offering a lot, just because we want to make sure that you guys are able to deliver a product that you can, but you need to be better coaches. You need to be more aware. And for lack of a better way to put it, you need to just do your job better. And when the landscape changes, you need to learn. And this is not, and all of us have the opportunity to learn right now, so we have to do that. And let me tell you, I'll hit you with this. The gym industry is going to be crushed over the next couple months. It just really is. Certainly the CrossFit industry. And with that, there's going to be a lot of coaches looking for jobs. And if I were a coach out there, I would be separating myself right now. If you want to do, or you have two options. You either separate yourself or you find another field. Either way, I think, either one's going to be the right decision. It has to be something you want to do. But if you're going to separate yourself, what are you doing? If I have a list of 5 people and I see 2 level 3s, I'm only going to talk to the level 3s if they want a job. Why? Because I know that at least they know how to put the work in. Then from there, I'm going to watch them coach. I'm going to see how good they are. It's and that's all that matters. Because if I know, that means I know you know how to put work in. You have your level 3, and then from there, I know your efficacy as a coach after I watch you coach, and probably have you stick around for a couple days just to see how you are after you take off your interview face. I want to see what you're like when you're tired, when you're grumpy, when you're hungry, because you're going to be working your butt off the next year or 2 years as a coach. We're all going to be bleeding again, gang, because we're going to be coaching more and making less money. And that's where we're at. And so buckle up. And I think that's where we're going to be. And I think we'll get out of it, but it's going to take some time. Gym owners is going to hurt. Gyms might shut down. Locations might shut down. Coaches are going to be looking for work. This is going to be it. But this is where we start. We got to think about our people first. How can we deliver a better product? The economics are relatively simple. Just do the math and what you can do. But there's going to be a lot of people out there looking for help. So I don't think there's going to be a shortage of members. It's going to take time for people to get comfortable, come back to the gym. And we should be following the rules. If the government says do something, as a business, you have people that are 50-50. They want to do it or they don't. As if you follow the rules, it makes it objective. We're just doing what we're told, and it does mitigate risk. And so from the obligation perspective, you're doing your job. So I just wanted to give that stuff to you guys. We're closing in on that 20-minute mark, and again, exciting that we can talk about getting back into it, but we have to be responsible with volume. We have to be responsible if we're wearing masks. We have to be responsible with movements we haven't done in a while, and that's going to be important. So thinking about that stuff, hit me up if you have questions, if you want to chat. But this is now the time where we don't want to shun or turn away. We need to be better. But again, there's not anyone you're going to give me that I can't take care of, and we can't do CrossFit. That's why we don't do an OMREP. We just say, hey, jump into class. I'll take care of you, because I know I can do that. And the community aspect, I think more than ever now, is highlighted how important group classes are. Is one-on-ones cool? Yeah, but most people don't want that. A lot of people want a community. There's a reason why this has been so difficult, because people want to be around people. And that's why our gyms are going to succeed. It's just going to be really challenging over the next few years, guys. So with that, thank you for your time. We're about 20 minutes in. Work hard, have fun, make sure that you keep your head up out there, be smart, support each other more than ever now. But thank you for everything. If you have questions, let me know. But I will see you next week.